Hey everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Rach.
Hello.
The biggest Souls fan that we have in the office, because there are some things a-brewing. Now, to get to the point of this video, which seems to be that a Demon's Souls remaster is real, seems to be a thing that might be on the way, you never know. There's a multiple stage way that this kind of unfolded last night. So,
our theory is not out of nowhere. We have proof. We have somewhat
We've got some stuff.
Kind of proof.
We got some stuff. So so last night someone randomly posted on ResetEra and just randomly said, "Hey, can we get a Dark Souls remaster? Will we ever see a Dark Souls remaster?" Demon's Souls. God, okay. Every single time.
We had a Dark Souls remaster and it was brilliant, which is
was.
Another reason why this can't be true.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. So someone posted the thing on ResetEra, said, "Can we ever get a Demon's Souls remaster?" And Jason Schreier of Kotaku fame, man who seems to leak everything under the sun, literally just replied and put yes. Which is one word, just the word yes, and it was like, okay, well I guess
it wasn't no.
And yeah, maybe that's a thing. And so people started then looking into which studios are working on remasters and potentials as to how it's going to go, because From Software have talked about the reality of a Demon's Souls remaster before, but because the way that it was published, the IP belongs to Sony, but it was published by different companies in different regions.
Yes.
But it currently resides with Sony. So the assumption would be that it would be a Sony studio that would be taking it on board if they brought it back. It would be a Sony exclusive remaster. So that points people towards Bluepoint, who did Shadow of the Colossus, and they did a couple of other remasters as well.
Another pretty awesome remaster.
Yes, and oh god, it's beautiful. But I think they also had a hand in the Uncharted remasters. But these are the guys that they said their next game that they're working on is also a remaster. That was last year, and they said that it's something that millions of fans will be looking forward to. So that's kind of part of what starts to substantiate this thing. But the most recent thing, well, it was last October, people have sort of uncovered it now, is that one of Bluepoint's character artists, if you looked at their LinkedIn page, they're listed as working on, let me get the quote, they're listed as working on character, armor, and weapon assets.
I mean...
Now I ask you, Rach, what other game has character, armor, and weapon assets?
That we could maybe be expecting a remaster for, could it be Demon's Souls?
I'm just saying it could be Demon's Souls. I don't think anything else could possibly have those three elements, and so that's as much evidence as we have. We know that Bluepoint, a good old studio known for remasters, are working on something with the sort of elements that lines up with a Demon's Souls remaster that we assume is coming. So I don't know anything about Demon's Souls because I came in on Dark Souls like most of the rest of the world. But you've played Demons.
I did.
And tell us about it. Is it good?
So it's very much like Dark Souls. You can see obviously like there is a clear connection between the two, but it's got a lot of things that they binned for Dark Souls and the Dark Souls series. Namely the whole world tendency thing and character tendency thing. I really hope if they do remaster it that they keep all of the terrible tendency stuff.
What's the tendency
so
stuff?
Good. Okay, so basically, you know how in Dark Souls you like die a lot?
Yes.
A lot.
Prepare to die.
But sometimes you kill some bosses. So in Demon's Souls, when you kill a boss, when you defeat an enemy phantom, when you do good things, you get you progress into white character or white world tendency. It's on like a scale.
Right, okay.
If you die in a world in human form, you progress it more towards the black side. And there's things that happen in full black tendency and full white tendency. It was really, really difficult to figure out. I had to look up a guide just to be able to get the platinum.
Okay.
No shame in admitting I had to follow a guide for that because it was so confusing. But I hope they don't change it. Well, it'd be really cool.
This makes me think of when the Dark Souls remaster was being talked about, and everyone immediately went to Blighttown. Because Blighttown in the original game, like you said, it's like 7 frames per second. It's a hell of a really awkward thing. And but part of me, for the sake of authenticity, wants them to keep the jank, keep the ugly shit, keep all the bad stuff.
No, because we don't have.
You don't want some jank though?
We don't have 7 frames a second on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Like, come on.
I don't know. People who are like, I finished Dark Souls. I'm like, which version did you play? And they're like, I played the remaster. I'm like, well, you didn't suffer through.
You
don't know what we went through. And I'm like, well, if you're gonna redo something like Demon's Souls, which obviously is going to feel a little bit archaic. It's, I mean, 2009, very much put in place the various systems that the Dark Souls series and Bloodborne have run forward with. So if you're going to go back to something that old, I wonder if they have to change some elements of it.
The thing is, what they did with the Dark Souls remaster was not very much. They made it, you're able to, obviously, you can multiplayer a bit better now, and I mean, what else did they change? They didn't really change anything.
I mean, yeah.
So, like, changing something really big, like World Tendency, for example, or equipment burden is massively annoying in Demon's Souls. It's got like your Skyrim sort of over encumbrance, but if you pick up, say, like, like a Titanite shard, you use that to upgrade your weapons. Okay, so you find tons of them in Demon's Souls, but they're really heavy.
Okay, they just take up a whole bunch of inventory space.
You can't hold them all. You have to keep like dumping your bag into
See, I guarantee there'll be a whole bunch of fans that want it kept that way.
I want it kept that way.
Okay.
I hate it, but I don't want them to change it. And the whole, like, you can farm for grass. Like, it's kind of more like Bloodborne with healing. Like, there's no Estus and stuff like that. You can farm for grass, and you smoke that weed every day, and you get better.
You literally smoke weed in Demon's Souls? Is that a thing? I mean, I don't know. I've not played it, but it could be a thing.
But no, it's really good. I hope that if they do remaster it, that they don't change it too much.
I think, I mean, it's weird because looking back on it, every now and then I'll come across someone like you who really loves the Souls series, and I like to think that I do too. But I've never been able to go back to Demons just because it's only on PS3.
Well, they actually turned down. Wow, words are hard. It's 2 p.m.
You can do it.
They turned off the online servers. I think that was last February, so it's been about a year now.
What if that's when they started
Demon's
the
Souls.
development of the remake, and then they started with the thing?
We kind of wondered when they did announce that the servers were closing. We were like, why? Like, people love this game. We're like, it's getting remastered, mate. It's getting remastered.
So at this stage as well, we've got Sekiro coming out in March.
Yes.
So it would be a little bit strange.
Very much a single-player adventure, I may add. So Demon's Souls.
Well, Demons could kind of scratch that itch again. I mean, like, yeah, Sekiro is like a very much dedicated single-player thing. They've got rid of the summoning, they've got rid of leaving messages for each other and all that kind of jazz thing.
Yeah, it's completely solo.
So yeah, if you're gonna then go back to like, okay, what identifies the Soul series, then they can kind of slot Demons back in. I was gonna ask though, with Sekiro coming out next month, obviously that game now has a jump button and a grapple hook and all these different movement things.
Oh my goodness, moving around in that game is a joy.
But it's like you see how far they've come, and I know that like obviously, but FromSoft have said they wouldn't have a hand in when a remaster came out, because the IP just doesn't belong to them anymore.
Yeah, as much as they would like to.
Yeah, but I don't think Sony would undercut Sekiro with Demon's Souls. I think if we do get it, it'll be later in the year.
But
I was gonna say, because you look at like how far they've come through, Demons to Dark to Bloodborne to Sekiro. Is Demon's Souls going to be able to go back to? Because like yes,
I firmly believe that it's because it's so different. I feel like it'll be a nostalgic experience for people who have played it, and something new and fresh and delightfully confusing for people who were fans of the later games like yourself, definitely.
Are there any sections like a Blighttown or like certain bosses that might need a bit of a tweak? Which stuff have we got?
The whole Valley of Defilement is basically what inspired Blighttown. So yeah, it's like a big poison swamp as well. As far as frame rate goes though, I don't think it was that bad. I think it was all pretty well optimized.
Well, even, I mean, because I remember when Dark Souls 2 came out and you had the hub world where you were going back to is it Majula? And like, isn't that something they cribbed from Demons, the idea that you had a place to go back to?
Yeah, so there is a hub in Demons. So like Bloodborne, like Dark Souls 2, like Dark Souls 3, like basically Dark Souls 1, they all have a hub.
Right.
So more like Bloodborne, I would say, because your hub you sort of have, and you've got these stones, and you warp from the stones, you know, like the tombstones.
Yeah.
But the hub is brilliant. It's just full of people killing themselves because, like I said, if you
They're trying to get through Demon's Souls.
If you die in a world that has, when you're human, you progress that world towards the black tendency. So you got to kill yourself in the I forgot what it's called. In the I keep wanting to say in the dream. Someone will know down in the comments. They'll remember what it's called. The hub. I'll remember it in about 5
That whole thing, though, that makes me think, because, I mean, obviously Dark Souls 1 had the interconnected world, which people loved. I love the idea of you go through a different gateway, and all of a sudden you're back into the area that you started with.
Yeah, that was good.
Then, Dark Souls 2 kind of went like, well, we're going to try and crib a little bit from Demons with a hub world, and you're beaming into different areas, and, returning to like a safe sanctum kind of thing. And then 3 went back to the connected world again. So it's like, if they're bringing Demons back out, that's more rooted in the mentality of 2, I think.
Demons is very much like, more like 2, where it's like each of the 5 worlds is very much like, this is the prison world, this is the castle world, this is
the lava world.
Yeah, it's they're all very sort of like linear.
That makes me think, though, that even though Demon's Souls is from 2009, people associate one of the tropes of Dark Souls is that interconnected world. So if they do a whole hub world-based thing, it could make Demons feel kind of fresh all over again. Because 2 tends to be the one that people just skate over.
Oh, do you mean like if they were to just redo the whole thing?
No, I just mean in terms of the structure. Like, I mean, they'll probably remix like bits and bobs and stuff, but I think if you went, here's like a Dark Souls adjacent game, this is the original way that it used to play, and you have hub worlds, and you have different ways to spec your characters, you have all the adjacency stuff. There's some mechanics in there that have been smoothed over in a way that if you revisit it, it's like, this is a whole different way to approach it. So,
I really want to play Demon's Souls again.
So hopefully this is true. You guys let us know what you think down in the comments below. Do you see yourself returning to something as ancient / revered / lovable as Demon's Souls? But let us know what you think. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
And I've been Rach. Thank you for watching.
I'll catch you next time. Bye.